Well, I spent a bit of time at the Mining Indaba, including in being involved with Peter Major on one of the panels. He's a mining analyst at Cadiz Corporate Solutions. He joins us on the line from Cape Town. Interesting, Pete. You've still got quite a lot of space between where government is coming from and certainly where capital is. But they do seem to be coming a little closer. Certainly that was my view. Did you get the same impression?
Yes, I think you're 100% right, Alec. They've been going at odds with each other for 20 years now, at least from 1994 till now. And this is the first time that I think we saw them all in the same room and pretty much agreeing on things. I would say there is at least 66, 70% agreement, and I've never seen that before. So I like to think we've bottomed now, and from here on, the three opposing sides are going to be working closer and closer together in unison.
Because the problem with all of this, and we had Jim Rutherford from the Capital Group giving us the statistics and the analysis that he put together. 40% of the global mining industry was in South Africa 25 years ago. Now less than 5 is figures. And it's almost a war zone that appears to have happened between government, labor and business. Is that if the war is at least over, fortunately the minerals are still in the ground, Pete, so at some point in time we will be able to get value from it.
We will, but it won't be in our lifetime. And yes, if we can declare the war over as of this week, then you have a process of reconstruction. And we know how long it took Japan and Germany to reconstruct. It took them about 15 to 20 years. So we've had a 20-year war, and we've had ideology and politicization working against the mining industry and revving up the masses, demonizing the mining companies, breaking up mining houses, chasing minings and investment out of here. So it is a 15, 20-year horizon for reconstruction, and that's what we have to start, reconstruction of our mining industry.
Peter Gugu here with Alec. Your analysis of South African mining companies and the management, are they on the right track then in working towards this reconstruction?
They're starting to get on the right track, but they are putting out so many fires, and they are dealing with layer after layer of new legislation, and then they think they comply with existing legislation, and then they're told they're not even close, and they say, well, where aren't we close? And they don't get shown, and that leads to uncertainty. So it's constant new layers of legislation and reinterpretation of existing legislation and more proposed. And so all the mine managers and the CEOs, they're dealing with that instead of competing with mining industries in 200 other countries. So there's no way Stephen Jobs and Bill Gates could lead world-leading IT industries if they had to deal with all the things our mining execs have to deal with.
One of the points that Rutherford made that has still been sticking with me is that much of our economic thinking comes from the University of Sussex, as he called it, the alma mater of the ANC, which is one of the most left-wing universities in Europe. I'm looking at my notes that I wrote at the time, and he says that there were many scholarships between ANC and at Sussex University, and including amongst the alma mater were Thabo Mbeki, Issa Pahad, and of course Rob Davies, who's playing a big role now. Do you think he's overemphasizing this, Pete?
Maybe he is, but I'm glad he brought it up, because I think the important point of what he brought up, Alec, is something is influencing our leaders who are making these kind of decisions. And if we look back at Nelson Mandela, I was there at the Cape Town Square when he got released, and he ranted and raved about, we will nationalize these gold mines. We've talked about it, we're going to do it. And yet it didn't take him 2 to 3 months to be educated and informed enough to realize, hey, nationalizing isn't going to solve anything, it's going to make it worse. Now you say, if it only took Nelson Mandela 2 to 3 months after being almost in solitary confinement for 20 years to see the light, why is it taking 15 to 20 years for our leaders to see the light and to start? And they are starting to reverse. They're not reversing any of this crazy legislation, but at least they're holding it back and they're re-looking at it. So let's give them credit for that. Let's give President Zuma and our new mining minister credit for at least not signing this Amendment Act and saying, we're going to review this. We do see there's problems with it.
So maybe the war is over, but the reconstruction is going to be long and hard and probably focused in some of the areas that, again, that Jim Rutherford raised, the one he was most concerned about was productivity.
That is the number one issue you have to address, because productivity supersedes ideology, political parties. It even passes whatever kind of economic, financial policy you're doing. If we don't get our productivity back up, and as I pointed out yesterday, our gold mine productivity per man is equal to 1903, and that's with all these new machines and mechanization. So that is how far our productivity has fallen down. And you know, it's the easiest thing to turn around and to make us competitive in a number one mining country again. It's easily done if we want to.
But what are we doing? Well, if it's easily done, then what do we need to do to make our mines more productive?
Well, we have to get socialization out of the mines. And we started socializing our mines. The ANC, our leaders, decided it made more sense to socialize the mines than to nationalize them. So they started socializing the mines in the new millennium. So 14 years of socialization means any kind of revenue and profits goes to the masses. It goes to the workers, and it goes to management, and it goes to suppliers. And we have to unsocialize the mines that say, you have to put back as a priority the providers of capital. If you don't give the providers of capital a return on their capital like you have to in a capitalist society, capital will dry up. So, and also legislation that is trying to socialize mines that says everybody must get $12,500 entry level, no matter what he does. An underground mine must pay the same as an open pit. A deep mine must pay the same as a shallow. An old mine must pay the same as the rich, as the poor. So we got to unsocialize our mines and differentiate like capitalism works on differentiating. High productivity people get higher pay, low productivity people get lower pay.
They need to throw away those books they got from the University of Sussex.
Yeah.
Peter Major, mining consultant at Cadiz Corporate Solutions.